Bjorn said that he thinks advancing to the fourth floor would be fine for them. Then he started explaining the reason. He told everyone that Haikurad and he are pretty sturdy tankers. Even if we do come across a 6th rank monster, they can create an opening for them to escape. He didn't tell others, but considering that he now has the vampire's essence, he should be able to tank fine against 6th rank monsters, although their damage is a bit lacking. But they still have a mage, and the other 2 are also veterans. It might be a bit slow, but they should be able to manage on the 4th floor. Misha and Dwaki start talking slowly. Misha said that Bjorn is right, but she is a bit anxious since he's a barbarian. Dwaki said that she is right. Then Misha said that even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, should they listen to him this time? Meg said that he thinks it should be okay. Bjorn can hear them talking badly about him. Then the dwarf said that he still thinks it's dangerous. So, they will vote about their next hunting location. The result is in favor of Bjorn, and they decide to go to the 4th floor. On the 3rd day after entering the labyrinth, Rottmiller decided to camp for the rest. But the dwarf suggests that since they all are pretty energetic, they should go a bit further. But Rottmiller refused by saying that it will take another 3 hours to find a better place than this one. So the dwarf agrees with him, and they decide to camp there. Looks like Misha and Dwaki have become friends, and Bjorn is busy looking at the time they camped. It's the same time they camped on the 1st and 2nd day. Rottmiller must have thought of the camping spot ahead of time, by taking into account the distance and their speed. It doesn't seem like much, but that's pretty impressive in a labyrinth where there is no night and day. So Bjorn asks Rottmiller about the plan for the next day. He told him that they would arrive at the witch's forest before noon tomorrow. He also told them that they should rest now, because once they enter the witch's forest, it's going to be very tiring. If you are confused about why they are talking about the witch's forest when they are going to the 4th floor, it's because the witch's forest is on the way to the 4th floor. Soon after they fall asleep, Rottmiller wakes Bjorn up. Bjorn was confused if it's already his turn. Rottmiller told him that it's not that. Then Bjorn stands up and asks him if it's a monster. But it's worse than that. Rottmiller told him that it's both. He means both monsters and explorers. Then they hear explorers screaming for help. Bjorn asks Rottmiller if this group of explorers is chased by the monsters. Rottmiller says that it's not what's important right now. He asks Bjorn if he remembers coming across the antihero a couple of days ago by the portal. Bjorn seems to understand what he is saying. Rottmiller told him that the smells he is tracking right now are the exact same as he smelled back then. The dwarf asks him if he means that they're the plunderers from before. Rottmiller says that he's right. He doesn't know who they are, but they're targeting them specifically, and he thinks that they would try to infiltrate them by pretending to be in distress and need help. Misha asks what should they do because they are already close. Bjorn gears up and tells them to do nothing if they are not confident in their acting. Bjorn goes at the front to confront them. He stopped them and told them that he will crush their skulls if they come even one step closer. A guy with a spear from that group asks Bjorn to help them. He says that they will reward them if they help them. Bjorn asks them to put down their weapons. The guy with the spear said that there are monsters right behind them. Then Bjorn looks around to see monsters. The orcs that followed them are just watching. They are just inspecting the surroundings because there are more people now. Well, it just makes things easier for Bjorn at least. With an angry look, Bjorn told them that it's their choice. Either they put their weapons down or get out from there. They get scared and decided to put down their weapons. They ask for their help. Bjorn told Rottmiller to gather all their weapons to one side. Orcs see this and left. Those orcs sure are smart. Then a girl from that group comes forward and thanks them. She introduces herself as Elisa. She looks beautiful, but the dwarf is looking somewhere else. Then the dwarf introduces himself. He is completely fell for her looks. Then the other members of that group introduce themselves. One is called Tayson, while the other one is called Hans Argut. Well, Bjorn doesn't have a good history with someone who is named Hans. That man says that it's a common name. Then he asks Bjorn if he knows another Hans. Bjorn says yes. Well, it's another matter that he's already. Then the Elisa chick starts crying, saying that she doesn't know what will happen to them if they don't meet them, and God Letless must have protected them. Rottmiller was confused after hearing that. So he asks her if she perhaps a priestess. She says yes, and told him that she serves the goddess of light who watches over exploration and relationships. But Bjorn was sure that they are plunderers, and she is just pretending to be a priestess. Then the guy called Hans comes to her and asks her if she can heal his injury. Bjorn was shocked, seeing that she is actually healing his injury using a divine spell. Everyone on Bjorn's team was shocked and confused. Seeing this, they can't believe she is really a priestess. Now even Rottmiller was confused. He can't believe that he made a mistake with his sense of smell. It's understandable how he feels. Considering the world of Dungeon and Stone, a priestess is a very holy being, and humans are mostly very devout believers. She asks them about if this is good enough proof. Then she asks if they can get their weapons back now, but Bjorn refused. Hearing this, he was very confused and asked why. Then Bjorn says that he understands that she is a priestess. But so what? This whole god and believer thing is only applied to humans. Barbarians are a different species that worships their ancestors. So he is not going to act all good and humble just because she is a priestess. He asks her to give them rewards for saving their life first. Then she says that she did hear that such a custom exists. Then she asks him about how much would be good enough. Bjorn says that 2 million stones would be enough. They should think of it as their life's worth. She says that there is no way that they would have so much money on them. So they will give it to him once they are out of here. Bjorn says that he doesn't believe what anyone says if they're not one of his kind. And if she doesn't have money, then she should pay with her body. Sorry, that was in my mind. What Bjorn asks her is to pay it off in valuable objects, like the armors her colleagues are wearing. Both of them were shocked at first, but they quickly start removing them, saying that they aren't worth their lives. Then Bjorn takes all the equipment they have. Then they ask Bjorn if they can take a rest now. Bjorn says sure, and told her to come. She says that if anyone is hurt, then she can heal them. But it looks like Bjorn was not in the mood to let them take rest. He raises his mace and crushed her head, following the rule of killing the healer first. He used his full power to get the job done. Everyone was very shocked by this. They almost shit in their pants. But Bjorn was all bloody and was looking like a psycho. Bjorn says that it was a mistake because he was afraid that they might be plunderers. So he couldn't help but do this. The remaining two are very scared, but they are not looking scared from Bjorn. But instead, they are cursing him, that because of him, they're going to die. Bjorn gets confused by their expression and was thinking about where they are looking at. But then suddenly, one of them starts sprouting blood from his mouth. Then a black, hazy mist surrounds him. The dwarf was confused and asks Dwaki if he did something. Dwaki said that he didn't do anything. Then a voice comes from behind. When Bjorn looked behind, he saw something that might haunt him for a lifetime. This is almost like a horror movie, where beauty is the real beast. She asks Bjorn, how did he know that they are enemies? Bjorn was also in shock, so what can he say? Then she says that it's already too late. So it doesn't matter. She was rearranging her joints back, that Bjorn cracked. Now Bjorn was just thinking about why his life never works out. All the others are frozen, like with the golem incident. And to snap them out of this, Bjorn shouts at them and asks them to snap out of it. Then he says that he will take care of it. Then he again smashed her head like a watermelon. The dwarf was more shocked, seeing Bjorn smashing her head. He asks Bjorn, why is he doing this? And is just damaging a corpse. It looks like the dwarf got crazy by her look. Bjorn says that he has no choice because he got scared. And the best defense is offense. Now Bjorn was just scared that she will come back alive. And if that happens, then that means she is a Kurui's priest. It's a kind of hidden class that can only be chosen after becoming a priest and reaching the 5th floor. It comes with all kinds of combat and curse spells, and it allows you to use both divine power and dark magic. It comes with some penalties, however. Kurui is an evil god of this world, so the moment that your class is revealed, you are hanged. Well, not literally hanged. They chop heads in this world. And in order to maintain this class, you need to regularly sacrifice living beings. And that's probably why she's a plunderer. The safest way to acquire sacrifices is definitely within the labyrinth. Then she sucked dry the hands guy to heal herself. Then in anger, she says that she lost 2 of her precious subordinates because of him. Bjorn says that she is blaming others in a situation like this, and it seems like her parents didn't raise her properly. Bjorn was chatting with casually, like nothing happened. She was also confused. Then Bjorn says that Hans and Taysen died because of her, and that's why she should have just died when he cracked her head open. Bjorn was looking genuinely angry. She was very confused about what he is talking about. Then Bjorn says that he can't take this anymore, and he will avenge his friends Hans and Taysen. Now, everyone was confused about what he is doing. Of course, he was thinking of taking all of their equipment and valuables, so he is already very excited about it. Elisa can't take his nonsense anymore and use Death's Calling and resurrect both Hans and Taysen as undead. This skill is the default skill of the Kurui's priest. It's supposed to just summon undead monsters, but if you use the corpses of your subordinates, they'll be much stronger than undead monsters. Then she ordered her so-called subordinates to attack Bjorn and party. The dwarf and Bjorn stopped them, and Misha attacked them with a poison attribute, and Dwaki used his ice spear magic to attack. They can now work together without communicating. But they are still stupid because the undead are usually resistant to poison and ice, so both of the dealers' attacks aren't doing much. So, Bjorn asks Rottmiller to do the work. Rottmiller prepared fire bombs or Molotovs, whatever they are called, and threw them towards the undead. Bjorn pushed him away and got away from him. The bottle hit him, and he caught the fire immediately. After all, fire is the best against the undead. Elisa says that it's useless and used the skill fire of the dead. This skill is absorbing all the fire in the region. The one attack that they have that could have worked against the undead isn't an option anymore. They don't have someone who can use divine power. So, Bjorn told everyone to attack the priestess, and he and the dwarf will block these two. Thankfully, Bjorn took away their armor and weapons ahead of time, so he can stall for as much time as they need. Then others started running towards Elisa, but she can't let them approach her that easily. She uses the skill Shadow Guardian and summons a shadow-like being. Then she ordered them to bring their heads. Bjorn's team tried to attack them, but their attack passes through them like they are attacking smoke. Then our beautiful Elisa cursed Misha to make her vulnerable from the attacks of her 2 Shadow Guardians. But thankfully, the dwarf came in time to protect her. He says that Bjorn sent him to help them. Then Misha asks him if that means that Bjorn is fighting alone. Of course, this is Bjorn, and even if his whole body got torn apart, he can still heal. So he can use his body to stop the other one. But Elisa is not so happy with it. She told Taysen and Hans to protect her, but Bjorn told him that they are kind of busy at a time. He is grabbing both of them down with ease. She got more angry with Bjorn and said that she will not forget this shame. Then she levitates in the air and used spiritification. Bjorn was worried that she is running away. But before escaping, she told Bjorn that he will never get back alive from here. They left staring in the sky while she escaped with a bunch of resentment towards them. But before Bjorn thought of doing anything, a bunch of curses activated on him, with a tracking spell. She really wants Bjorn dead. She cast more than 15 curses on Bjorn. That crazy-ass priestess left Bjorn with all kinds of curses. to make sure that he dies. Well, Bjorn still has hope because Dwaki said that he knows how to use curse magic. So he asks Dwaki to get rid of the curses on him. He even said, "Please, let's play a guess game. What do you think what is going to happen?" Dwaki was confused about what he is saying. Bjorn asks him that he could use curse magic. Dwaki says that he can use curse magic, not that he can eliminate them. Now he is acting all good and cute. But Bjorn is screwed now. And if the curses are not cured, then his physical stats may be permanently lowered.